Join me as I dive into Cleopatra's crazy secrets that you probably never knew existed. Cleopatra is one of the most fascinating figures in history, a queen whose name is synonymous with power, beauty, and mystery. And yet, despite her legendary status, there's still so much we don't know about her, so many secrets and surprises waiting to be uncovered. When we think of Cleopatra, we often think of the myths and legends that have grown up around her. The seductress who brought down powerful men with her charms, the queen who ruled Egypt with an iron fist. But how much of this is really true? The truth is, separating fact from fiction in Cleopatra's life story is no easy task. The ancient sources that tell us about her are often biased, incomplete, or downright contradictory. Take, for example, the Roman historian Josephus, who portrayed Cleopatra as a ruthless and power-hungry queen. But was this really an accurate picture? Or was Josephus simply reflecting the biases of his own time? The truth is, we'll never know for sure, because so much of what we know about Cleopatra comes from sources that were written by her enemies. And then, of course, there are the myths that have grown up around her name. The stories of her elaborate parties, her vast wealth, and her supposedly insatiable appetite for love and power. But how much of this is really true, and how much is simply legend? But despite the challenges of uncovering the truth about Cleopatra, one thing is clear. She was a remarkable woman who lived a life full of intrigue, drama, and adventure. She was a queen who was determined to assert Egypt's independence in a world dominated by Rome, a politician who was skilled in the art of diplomacy and manipulation. Cleopatra's relationships with powerful men are the stuff of legend, of course. There was Julius Caesar, the Roman general who became her lover and ally, and Mark Antony, the Roman general who would ultimately share her fate. And yet, despite the drama of these relationships, it's clear that Cleopatra was more than just a seductress. She was a skilled politician who knew how to use her charm and beauty to get what she wanted. But Cleopatra's greatest legacy may be the role she played in the rise and fall of empires. She was a queen who ruled Egypt at a time of great turmoil, when the Roman Empire was expanding its borders and threatening the independence of smaller states. And yet, despite the odds against her, Cleopatra managed to maintain Egypt's independence, at least for a while. One of the most surprising secrets about Cleopatra is the extent of her influence on Roman politics. Despite being a foreigner, a woman, and a member of a rival power, Cleopatra was able to exert a significant influence on Roman policy, even going so far as to convince Julius Caesar to declare her son Caesarion as his heir. And yet, despite this, Cleopatra has often been portrayed as a helpless victim, a pawn in the games of powerful men. Another surprising secret about Cleopatra is her unique personal practices. For example, did you know that Cleopatra was a skilled chemist and alchemist who spent hours in her laboratory experimenting with potions and elixirs? Or that she was a devout follower of the Egyptian goddess Isis, who saw herself as the embodiment of the goddess on earth? Perhaps the most surprising secret of all, though, is the extent of Cleopatra's knowledge and education. She was a woman who spoke multiple languages, who was well-versed in mathematics and astronomy, and who was familiar with the works of Greek philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. In other words, she was a true polymath, a woman whose intelligence and curiosity knew no bounds. So what can we learn from Cleopatra's secrets? Perhaps the most important lesson is that our initial impressions are often wrong, and that there's usually more to the story than meets the eye. By uncovering the secrets of Cleopatra's life, we can gain a new appreciation for her strengths and weaknesses, and begin to see her in a new light, not as a mythical seductress, but as a real woman who lived a life of intrigue, drama, and adventure. So, which of Cleopatra's secrets surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about ancient history, be sure to check out my next video, where I'll be exploring more secrets and surprises from the ancient world.